Hello everyone and welcome to our VBC Volunteer Training 2019. I am so glad that you all are here, whether you're joining us here live in C133 in St. Paul's School of Theology rooms, or if you're watching live online and on your tablet or computer or phone, or some people are going to be watching this later on our new VBC Volunteer website. We are super glad that you are here tonight, and thank you for taking a few minutes to be a part of VBC. So we're very grateful for that. Hopefully everyone out there on Zoom can hear us okay. I am now talking, so you should start being able to hear things. So I'll be talking both, you all hear the live and to the camera. So we are super excited that you are here. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you also for being part of VBC in just a few days. So in case you don't know me, my name is Nick. I work in our elementary department with Kids Corps, and we've got other Kids Corps people around here tonight, and we are just really thankful and grateful that you have decided to be a part of VBC, not only tonight, but also in just a few days. So we have right now roughly about almost 1,200 kids signed up. We also have over 500 people who are a part, either as volunteer or staff or doing other various roles to make VBC happen. And we are super excited about that. And you know, it's been promoted and pushed a little bit more from Pastor Adam and our church leadership. So we're super excited about that. We just believe VBC has this great potential to push our kids forward and families forward and growing in their faith. So we are thankful that you're a part of that. One of the things I think about is, you know, we have 15 hours of camp coming up in just a few days, which some of you are like, whoa, that's a long time for camp. It's not too bad, but it can get tiring. So, but think about it, if you were a Sunday school leader who was working weekends every week, and to think about how the average kid sometimes shows up about twice a month. And if they come twice a month, that is 3 hours. 3 hours. And that takes about, what's that, 5 months for them to get to 15 hours, right? 5 times 3 is 15. So that takes about 5 months for a Sunday school leader to have the type of impact that you all are going to get with your kids in 5 days. So it's just kind of a cool thing and a cool opportunity and a cool chance to be a part of VBC and helping our kids grow in their faith and helping them learn a little bit more about friendship and just being a great friend. So as we get started, there's a lot of questions about VBC. All right. But the biggest question is, why am I dressed? I am dressed as Woody from Toy Story, and if you haven't been around church in the last 6 months, our theme is You've Got a Friend in Me, based on the Toy Story 4 movie, and actually the whole series of movies, which Toy Story 4 is coming out on June 21st. So that'll be kind of a fun play to kind of think about friendship through the eyes of Toy Story. So I'm going to quiz you all to see how much you know about Toy Story. So here's how this is going to work. We have great prizes. We have Woody doll, we have a Slinky dog, and we've got the potato head. Only that, we have gift cards to restaurants too, so they'll go along with it. Take note of my email address right now, nick.ransom@cor.org. Okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask 2 trivia questions right now about Toy Story. And then as soon as you think you know the answer, you're gonna email me as soon as possible, like even right now. So those of you watching online, go ahead and get ready to email me. If you're watching this and it's been recorded and it's not May 30th, don't bother because you already have won, okay? But I'm gonna ask you 2 trivia questions, get a chance to email, and the first person who emails me the right answer will win either the Woody doll, the Slinky dog, and then we have a coupon, a gift card to the Brass Onion and to Bristol Grill too. So, woo! All right, here you go. Here is trivia question number 1. You ready? Buzz was named after which famous person? Buzz was named after which famous person? So go ahead, if you think you know, I will allow you to email me right now. That's question number 1. All right, question number 2. In Toy Story number 3, you all remember Sid, right? From Toy Story number 1, the guy that was cruel to toys, right? He makes an appearance back in Toy Story 3, and he is doing what as an occupation? What is his job in Toy Story 3? All right. So while you're thinking and answering that, I'm gonna give you some more random trivia, which doesn't win you anything. All right. So here we go. But I thought it was interesting. Pizza Planet was almost called Pizza Hut. So, which makes you think, I don't know, Pizza Hut seems like a bad name. But all right. And then I read this, that a mistake almost deleted the entire Toy Story 2 movie. Like it was like over almost less than a year away. A stray computer command, someone was messing around and deleted 90% of the work they've been doing on Toy Story 2. Luckily, one of the film's technical directors, she had taken it all the files home and was working on it on her computer. So she brought it back and was able to save the day, but it was near disaster for Toy Story 2. And then for Toy Story 3, the animators all decided to shave their heads as they began work on Toy Story 3 because they wanted a clean start. So, I think that's what you want. And then finally, this might be disturbing to some of you, but I'm sorry. Tom Hanks' brother, Jim, sometimes is the voice of Woody when Tom Hanks is too busy. So Tom does the movies, but like when you hear like Woody dolls or other things, it may not be Tom Hanks. It might be his brother. So I'm sorry if that is upsetting to anyone. So keep emailing in if you think you know the answers to any of those questions. Who was the famous person that Buzz Lightyear was named after? And in Toy Story 3, Sid returns. What was his job? All right. So I'm going to say a prayer. And then after we pray, I'm going to talk about 5 important things I want you to know about VBC. Then Sheriff Amy is going to come up and just talk a little bit about radical hospitality. And then we're going to do a couple of breakouts more specific to what you all are doing. So let's pray. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for all those who are listening to my voice right now, whether it's on the computer or tablet or live in person. And I'm super grateful for the part that they are playing in VBC, for their time that they're going to give during the week, for the time that they've given to be here tonight, for the time they're going to give in preparation. So we thank you for that. And I just thank you for the opportunity that we have to invest in the lives of kids and families, to help them grow in their faith, to help them become better friends. I thank you, Lord, for this church. I thank you for the technology that makes it possible.
You cannot start your video
and I just pray for a great week at VBC. I pray for the kids that we're going to be hanging out with and teaching them. They will learn a bunch, and that they will learn that most part that you love them and care for them, and that you want them, call them to be great friends. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, so 5 things to know about VBC. All right, first off is I just want to go over the daily themes of VBC, just kind of like where we're going with these. All right. So first, the daily theme. So each day we're going to have a biblical theme, a biblical point to the day. So it's all gathered, it's all centered around friendship. And our definition of friendship for the week is using your words and actions to show others you care. Using your words and actions to show others you care. So we thought we'd begin by talking about the story of the Good Samaritan and kind of taking a different look at it by looking to see like how the Good Samaritan showed friendship, right? And we're trying to think, as we think about friendship, we didn't want to all be like internal about, already just being a good friend to someone who already is my friend, but kind of looking around and seeing, who might be hurting, who might need help, who might I be able to be a friend to. So we start out with that. And day 2, we then go talk about a good friend is loyal, and we look at the classic story of David and Jonathan, where Jonathan protects his good friend David from his father Saul, who's very jealous of David and wanting to hurt him. So kind of sacrifices a lot, his relationship with his dad and other things to kind of stick with David. And we'll just talk a little bit about how friendship is not always easy, but we need to stick together with our friends. Then day 3, we go to a good friend puts others first. And we're going to talk about the story of Ruth and look at Ruth as a good friend to her mother-in-law, Naomi. And if you remember that story, there's a lot of tragedy and death in there. And then Ruth, we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus more on like Ruth caring for Naomi and leaving her home and leaving her friends and following Naomi back to her home to take care of her and make sure she was doing okay. So just kind of a cool story looking at Ruth. Then we go to day 4, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. 3 great names that are really hard to say. So, and a good friend stands up for it. Right? If you remember, King Nebuchadnezzar builds this enormous statue that's 90 feet tall and tells everyone you must bow down to this statue, and if you don't, go into the fiery furnace. Everyone bows down except for these 3 friends. And so we are guessing that it was easier for these 3 friends to stand up for what was right because they were together. The Bible doesn't tell us that, but my guess it was just Shadrach. Maybe it would have been harder for Shadrach to stand up to King Nebuchadnezzar. So these friends stood up together. So we're thinking a good friend helps us stand up for what is right. And we want to be those friends that help other people stand up for what is right. And then finally, we will go to a good friend points others to Jesus. And we're going to talk about the story of Philip and Nathaniel. And that is when Philip meets Jesus, and the first thing Philip does is goes and sees Nathaniel and says, Nathaniel, come, see who I've found. And Nathaniel's kind of doubting, and like, no, you gotta come see Jesus. And so Philip brings Nathaniel to Jesus, and Jesus has Nathaniel follow him. So just kind of a cool way of thinking about how a good friend points others to Jesus, and how ultimately we want to point others to Jesus as well in our friendship. All right, so those are our themes. The next thing is the Volunteer Hub, something brand new this year. There is a website that we are sharing via email, but this is called our Volunteer Hub. On it, we'll have recordings of what you hear tonight. It also has our VBC theme song. It also has all the curriculum that you are going to be using, broken down by grade. You can see a snapshot of that. It also has 7 things you need to know about VBC, some safety policies and procedures. So just be looking for your email, and there will be a link to that. Our church tech team has worked on that, done a great job with it. So the Volunteer Hub, we're super excited about that. All right, and then next is, because of friendship, we're going to have a Bring a Friend Day on Thursday at VBC. Now, don't worry if you're working in preschool, this is only for elementary. Only elementary kids can bring a friend. And so we know that day, and we just want you to prepare mentally for this, because it could be a little bit more wild, could be a little bit more exciting energy. But we're going to have some backups coming in to help us on that day. So if your group expands from your first grade group goes from 24 to 30, we'll have some extra hands in that too. But we really want kids to think about a way that they can outreach and point others to Jesus by inviting them to VBC on Thursday of camp. All right. Our mission project is the number 4 thing I want to talk to you about. And that our mission project this year is going to be we're collecting funds for Costa Rica. And our VBC director, Gail, ended up going down to Costa Rica just this spring, just trying to check out this church, and noticed that some of their Sunday school rooms really need some help for the kids, just really in rough shape. So we're going to raise money to remodel and rebuild these 2 classrooms. And so that's what our money is going for. And then we're going to be collecting toys and games for our partner schools in Kansas City. And so these prizes will be going for incentives. So like, when your kid does really well, you go to, gets to go to the school store and get something for free. So we're providing these incentives like toys, games, books. And so if you're looking for more information about that. But what you all can do with the kids you interact with is just to encourage them to participate in this mission project. We'll talk about it from up front in the sanctuary time. We'll email their parents with the things that you can do to encourage them. Hey, don't forget to bring back your offering. Hey, who brought in, anyone bringing in games for our mission project? That's where it's really made, is you all as leaders and station leaders talking to kids, make sure you're doing this to remind them. So that is our mission project. And then finally, just real quick, we talk a little bit just about safety at camp. I just want to go over 3 quick things when we think about safety at camp. And there's 3 types of safety that I think are important when we are working with kids. The first one is physical safety. I want all of you to know as leaders that you are empowered to keep kids safe physically, all right? So if you see kids running with scissors, you tell them to stop. If they're slamming the door and you're afraid someone's fingers might get pinched, you're empowered to tell them to stop. Now this sounds silly, but sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want to be the bad guy in this, but it's okay. Like if maybe a game's getting too crazy, we want to keep kids safe at camp. So that is one way to keep them safe, is physically. So be on the lookout for that. Next is emotional safety. So that's kind of primarily looking out for, bullying or unkind words or disrespect. So you are also empowered. So if you hear a kid saying something unkind to another kid or treating them not the way we want we treat them, and not the way we are being good friends to them, that you are empowered to step and say, hey, that's not how we talk to others at church. We want to make sure we're being a good friend. And our theme really lends to that. So just have your ears and eyes open to that type of conversation. Just be aware of what's going on in your kids, no matter if you're in a station or in a group, a small group, or a class. And then finally is spiritual safety. We just want to make sure that kids come and have the spiritual safety to express themselves. If they ask a question, this is maybe sometimes in elementary, they might ask a question that might just shock us, but not to let that show in our face, but to allow kids to explore and learn about God in a safe way. So as leaders, we're just facilitating that, guiding them along, but just allow them to ask questions and think about God in ways that are helpful to them. So we just want to make sure we provide that safety as leaders. So those are my 5 things about VBC. I hope they're helpful. I'm now turning it over to the sheriff of the early childhood department, Amy.
Thank you. Howdy, partners. My name's Amy Fulton, and I am the early childhood sheriff in these here Kids 4 parts. Glad to see each of you here today. I'm coming to talk to you about something that's near and dear to Resurrection Hearts, and that is radical hospitality. So what is radical hospitality? That means going out of our way to make sure that everybody that walks through our doors feel welcome. And that's what our theme's all about. It's about making friends. So you are going to be the ones on the front lines. You're going to be the ones that are interacting with the families, with the kids. And so I just want to give you these 7 things to remember as we welcome all these new kids and families to Resurrection. So 7 ways to welcome our friends. So the F in friends stands for flexibility. One of the things that you need to be is flexible, and you're going to need to be willing to do whatever it takes for the team. We can guarantee you that things are not going to go as you expect them to go. There are going to be little hiccups along the way, and we're going to need you to be very flexible when it comes to those things. That leads right into the R. Oops, you just went right past R and I, but we're going to start with R. R is to react. React positively to everything, no matter what. So it goes right along with the flexibility part. Families, especially the kids, are going to watch how you react to situations. So when your class is 10 minutes late for your recreation rotation, you don't want to be the one saying, "Where have you been? You're 10 minutes late." You want to be the one saying, "We're so glad you're here. Why don't you hop in over here?" Because you have no idea what's happened. They might have been trying to locate a missing kid for the last 10 minutes. Things just aren't always going to go that way. So reacting positively in all situations is really important. This is also important when you're talking about families as they walk in the door. If they look a little lost, a little overwhelmed, we want you to be able the ones to go up to them and say, "Hey, what can I do to help?" So reacting to those situations is really important. The I in friends stands for identify. And this is a very, very important one, especially if you're in the classrooms or with a group of kids. You want to identify kids and call them by name as much as you can. So this is where you want to have the person with the gift of hospitality in your classroom. You want that person to be the one that's greeting the kids every day at the door. On that first day, you want to make sure that you're introducing yourself to the child. Remember, they're the ones coming into your classroom, or to that older youth. And you want to make sure you're introducing yourself. You're saying, "I'm so glad that you're here today. We're going to have so much fun." And when you do that, when you call somebody by name, that makes them feel important. So I'm going to challenge each one of you in a group or you're in a class. I want you to call each child in your classroom by name at least 3 times during that day. That's going to make them feel real important and make them feel a part of your class or your group. If you're in a rotation, I'm going to challenge you to meet 5 new kids every single day and get to know their names. That's how important it is. When people know your name, you feel important. All right, so that leads into the next thing. E stands for engage. Engage. You want to engage each of your kids with someone or an activity that makes them feel comfortable. Think about the times that you have walked into a room. Maybe today when you're walking into this room, you had no idea who was going to be here. You might know somebody, you might not know somebody. You might have never been over in this wing of the building. You're talking about kids walking into your rooms that may have never been into a church at all. And so it's going to be really important after you've greeted them, you're excited they're there, to engage them in some sort of activity. That's why we have welcome activities for the kids. Or you can be, if you see that they're really hesitant in coming in, you can engage them to another leader in the classroom. So doing those things is going to help them have a good experience and be excited about what's to come. All right, the N. The N in friends is to notice your surroundings. Sometimes we get so busy in what we need to do, the task at hand, that we forget to look around and see what's going on. It's really easy to notice those kids who answer all the questions, who want to be involved in everything, but I want you to really notice those kids that might be alone or not interacting with anybody. Those that seem sad or afraid of something. Those are the kids that we want to really work to engage and make them feel comfortable. So sometimes take a break from what's going on in the classroom and just watch what is going on around and how the relationships and the friendships are going on in your classrooms. Also along with notice, this also goes out to the parking lot. You need to notice those families who look like they have no idea where they're going or what they're doing. It could be somebody's walking in with 3 kids and and all these mission things, and they might need a helping hand carrying something in or opening the door for them. That means a lot when we're talking radical hospitality to people. So be paying attention from the minute you walk, get out of your car to the minute that you walk into your classrooms. All right, the D. The D is to decide that every day you're going to do whatever it takes to be a good friend and spread kindness to everyone you meet. When you come in with an attitude like that, you know you're going to make a difference with the kids. You know you're going to be connecting with those kids. Yeah, everything's not going to go perfect, but sometimes you don't know the impact you're having on those kids. This could be the best time of their lives. This could be the first time they're learning about Jesus. So when you want to come in, even if it's been the hardest week ever with a certain kid, that's probably the kid that needs your love the most. So make sure you decide that you are going to be the best friend that you can to everyone. And finally, a smile goes a long way. When you have a smile on your face, the kids are going to be happier. It's hard to be grumpy when you're happy. So share those smiles with people all throughout the week to everybody you meet, and it's going to be a great week. All right, that's all I got. Sheriff, your turn.
Woohoo! All right, we have winners for our contest. Cassandra T. She was the first one to say Buzz Aldrin. So that is the famous astronaut Buzz. All right, and then someone with the email address R2D2 said, got the first one right for Sid, who makes appearance back in Toy Story 3 as a garbage man. So congratulations, I'll connect with you and get you your prizes. Thanks for playing. Okay, this is gonna conclude our opening session. So thank you all for watching this. And now we're going to do some more specific breakouts, all right? So those of you that are watching on Zoom online, you're going to want to go back to your email, your original email that we sent out to you today, and you're going to look for the breakout link that applies to the age group that you're working with. So for example, if you're working with early childhood kids, there is a link there that you're going to click on, all right? If you're working with upper elementary kids, there's a link there for you to click on, which will then take you to your breakout. It's going to be another 20 minutes longer, so it's going to go into some specifics of that age group. Then we have a lower elementary, which is kindergarten through second grade, and then a radical hospitality one that is led by one of our guest services people, Jamie Felder. So that is what you're going to do. So you are welcome to close out of this one, go back to your email, click on that, and find a link that applies to you. If you are watching this on the website, on our hub, you're just going to look back on that page, and we already have those videos posted for you. Just find the one that works for you and is most applicable. If you are working in a station, or I think it's mostly a station, and you don't see one that works for you, then this is the only thing you need to watch, and you are fully trained, and you will get more details about your station in